Warning: this list is a personal opinion based on the state of mind of the individual during the year 2021. You may agree, disagree, or even get offended by this list based on your state of mind. In any case, this list will be different from your list, which is okay. If we all like the same things in the same way and have the same opinions, we would all be robots. Okay, before we begin, can we just take a moment to appreciate, to just applaud ourselves because we made it.
Akbar! Akbar! Akbar!
2021, easily one of the worst years ever, and everyone tried to find some motivation, some distraction, some way of dealing with this time in our lives, and for me, one of those things was movies. Tamil cinema reinvented the commercial film and the image of the mass hero. Telugu cinema made a low-budget comedy film a blockbuster.
Any drinks, sir? Yeah, French wine. French wine with English subtitles.
Kannada cinema did the same thing with a gangster film. Malayalam cinema is just continuing to produce gem after gem, and Hindi cinema is I'm not sure what they're smoking.
நான் எப்போ வருவேன் எப்படி வருவேன் யாருக்கு தெரியாது.
But other than that masterpiece, it was actually a pretty good year for Indian movies, and that's why today's video is about the 10 best Indian movies of 2021 in my opinion. But before we move to the list, roll that intro. At number 10 is Love Story, directed by Sekhar Kamula. Okay, let's just admit it, no one does commercial cinema like the Telugu industry. And within that commercial format, Sekhar Kamula, who was one of the pioneers of independent cinema in the Telugu industry, he's taken the issue of caste discrimination, mounted it on a big scale, told the story using commercial sensibilities with the sole intention of making it reach every Telugu household and hopefully every Indian household. And I'm not just putting this film on this list just because I'm a Sai Pallavi simp, because of the conflict that it deals with between these two really well-written characters. I really related to their story, and with every twist, with every turn, with every obstacle thrown at them, I just wanted Revant and Monica to just somehow make it through all of that and win in the end. Okay, time to offend some people. At number 9 is Master, directed by Lokesh Kanagaraj. I'm not saying it's a perfect film. I know, yes, it has a few unnecessary action sequences, a few unnecessary characters. The ending could have obviously been a lot better. All of that is fine, but for me, I love it for how it's reinvented the commercial film and the image of a commercial film hero. On one side, Lokesh just sets up the mythology of the villain so well, and on the other side, he makes the hero an alcoholic. He gives him flaws, he makes him stumble and fumble, and even makes him the cause of. We've hardly seen it in Tamil cinema before, and it takes a lot of guts and a lot of conviction, and most importantly, extremely good writing to be able to convince a star like Vijay, someone who's worshipped by millions of fans, to accept this and then do justice to that decision. This is easily my favorite Vijay film in years, my favorite Vijay Sethupathi character in years, and also easily one of the best soundtracks by Anirudh. I still keep playing it when I'm on the metro or on the bus or driving or wherever I go. At number 8 is Mandela, directed by Madan Ashwin. I think Mandela is basically India. So many different people, so many different opinions, so many different problems to deal with, and when you sit down to think about it, you don't know whether to laugh or cry. And within this hopelessness, there's a question whether we'll be able to find a little tiny piece of hope, and that's the soul of Mandela. It's another film that talks about caste but takes a completely different route. It's kind of like a low-budget Rajkumar Hirani kind of a universe, because it's a film that believes in driving home a message through the power of laughter. At number 7, Cinema Bandi, directed by first-time director Praveen Kandragula. When I think of this film, I can think of just one quote, that one legendary quote from director Tyagarajan Kumar Raja. Someone in the crowd asked a question: how do I enter the film industry? How do I start making films?
There's a very simple answer to this, not just for direction, for anything. If you want to go to Madurai, you just go to Madurai. It's as simple as that.
If you just really just love films enough, you can make a film. You don't need a big budget, you don't need fancy equipment, literally no force on earth can stop you. And that's what this hilariously sweet film is all about. So love story is on one side of the commercial spectrum and cinema bundis on the other side. And both of these films, they just exist to prove the fact that Telugu cinema is just killing it this year while Bollywood decides to spend money on... Okay, I'll stop. And at number 6 is Kala, directed by Rohit V.S. Director Ram is a filmmaker that I really look up to, and I was watching one of his interviews with Bharadwaj Rangan where he talks about the thesis of a film.
Every art has a thesis, right? Every art has a particular truth. Every movie is socially connected. சமூகத்தோடு தொடர்பில்லாத ஒரு படத்தை நீங்க எடுக்கவே முடியாது.
And this makes sense for most films, but what about action entertainers? Mission Impossible, the Fast and Furious series, the John Wick series. All of these films are extremely entertaining, but they don't really have a thesis. And that's why Kala is so different. I've never seen an action film that has so much meaning and so much depth and so much symbolism. The way this film is so beautifully shot with these two men ready to tear each other apart in the middle of nature with birds and insects and animals just watching them from a distance. All of this is not just a stylistic choice. It actually talks about how insignificant mankind is in the span of the universe, how toxic masculinity is just passed on from generation to generation to generation, and how nature existed before man and will exist long after man has gone. And also, Tovino Thomas looks... At number 5 is Jai Bhim, directed by T.J. Gnanavel. Even if the film wasn't subtle, I was so invested in the story and the characters and what happens to them, and it really impacted me in terms of why certain humans treat other certain humans a certain way because of certain reasons which don't make sense anymore. I just love how Surya, he just decided to invest himself in a story that doesn't just revolve around him. He's more of a catalyst than this invincible protagonist that we're used to seeing so many big stars play in every commercial movie. And I think we need to see more stars just do this. Just try to tell stories that really need to be told. At number 4, The Great Indian Kitchen, directed by Geo Baby. I can't believe someone with such a cute name made such a hard-hitting film. I watched this film back in March, and this is what I had to say about the film that time. Every Indian man needs to watch this movie, and every Indian woman, if you're a woman and if you're watching this, please get every man in your life to watch this film. This film felt like a slipper shot to my face, and immediately after watching it, something changed in my thought process and in my actions, and if a film can do that, it deserves to be high up in the list. Okay, we're down to the top 3, and at number 3, Karnan, directed by Mari Selvaraj. Once every 5 to 10 years, there comes a film that just leaves you speechless. After the 2-3 hours that you spend inside the darkness of a cinema hall, when you step outside, the world that existed before just isn't the same anymore. The you that existed before isn't the same anymore. And that's what Karnan did to me. We've seen so many stories centered around caste in the last few years, and especially this year. But Mari Selvaraj takes that story, adds some mythology, some symbols and metaphors and animals. And seriously, if a filmmaker can use something like a donkey to make you feel like punching a wall because of how unfair the world is, I think such a filmmaker needs to be treasured. And Dhanush, who would have ever thought in the wildest dreams that this boy would become this man, this great actor who's actually just getting started? At number 2 is Maanadu, directed by Venkat Prabhu. You might disagree with this, but I think making a commercial film is much more difficult than making an independent single genre film. To take a country like India, which has such a diverse audience, it's difficult to create a product that a majority will like and enjoy. What's even more difficult is to take a genre like sci-fi and make a commercial film that's intelligent, easily digestible by the masses, and most importantly, entertaining as We've seen time loop films in Hollywood, but to take such a concept and to localize it, mixing religion, mythology, humor, and so much self-awareness is just genius. Praveen KL, who's the editor of the film, plays like he's never played before. If there's anything that can elevate the superb writing of the film, it's the video game style editing that thrills you, entertains you, surprises you, keeps you at the edge of the seat without ever confusing you. And at number 1 is a film that I've already spoken about quite a few times, Sarpatta Parambarai, directed by Pa Ranjit. With Sarpatta, Ranjit doesn't just reinvent a boxing film, he creates a universe. I watched this 3-hour film at least 5 times this year, and every single time I watch it, I don't feel like I am watching a film as an audience. It feels like a video game that I'm part of, where I can interact with the environment. I can choose to be a different player and understand his or her perspective. And each time I discover something new. And that was my list, my personal list of the best Indian films of 2021. And I just want to mention a couple of films, a couple of Hindi films that didn't make it to the list. Sherni and Sardar Udham, 2 amazing Hindi films that made up for all the other trash that Bollywood decided to invest in this year. And I also want to mention Doctor, which was easily one of the best, most enjoyable theatre experiences of the year for me. And also there are a few films that I've not seen. Garuda Gamana, Vrishabha Vahana. This is a film that everyone was talking about, but I couldn't get to see it in the theaters. I'm waiting to watch on OTT. There's 83 and Chandigarh Kare Ashiki that has to be released. Rocky, which is a film that I've been waiting for a really long time. And above all, above just everything else is Minnal Murli, which I've not even seen the trailer yet because I want to hype myself up for it. And yeah, if you like this video, please hit like so more people can get to see it. Comment down your favorites, comment down your own personal list, your personal top 10 in the comments. But for now, thank you for watching and I'll see you next Friday.